Oh, is it hot? Hey, Rainbow here, how are you? Anyway, got the radar turned on. I'm going to show you a little video while I'm waiting for the GoPro footage to download. I thought I would discuss a little bit with you. So finally, after exactly 6 months that I've had the bike, the Multistrada V4S, I finally had the radar turned on, done, finished. Now, here's how it went down. As a reminder, and there's a video of about the radar when I first bought it, and we didn't know. So, quick recap. I didn't know that the radar wasn't going to operate until the day that the bike was delivered. The day that the bike was delivered to me was the same day that the bike was delivered to the dealership. It was the very first bike that came in South Florida. The first bike. And I picked it up that afternoon and drove it home. That's when they told me that the radar wasn't going to be operable. It may be another 2 weeks, they don't know, before they can turn the radar on. Okay? Didn't think anything above it. Then found out that later on, a few days later, that people were saying, oh, we knew that the radar wasn't going to be turned on. And then I heard some discussion about it'll be ready in June, and when it's ready in June, there's going to be a fee to turn it on. So I went back to my dealer, which is Two Wheels World, which is Ducati Forza in Fort Lauderdale, technically in Pompano Beach. And I said, hey, what's up with this? And they said, we didn't know that the bikes weren't going to have the radar turned on. And they have stuck by that the entire time. And honestly, with the relationship that I have with the owner of the dealership and my really good salesman Ian, I completely believe them. And I know I received a lot of flack saying I knew. Everyone knew after we knew. All right, we had one of the very first bikes that were delivered with it. They were showing reviews in California with the radar working in the United States, so we thought it was just going to be a minor thing. It wasn't until later that we found out that they were working on a approval from the United States government so that they can operate the radar. Now, with that being said, from that point on, my dealer specifically told me, we didn't know, you didn't know, we're going to take care of you. And lo and behold, 6 months later, when things were finally approved, that's exactly what they did. They followed through on their word. All right. I got a little bit of a discount off the bike from my salesman in the beginning, just a couple $100, and he said that initially that was just part of a thank you, being the first one to buy one, we'll give you a little discount, and I was appreciative of that. I know that others may have had a deeper discount because they have to pay for their radar. I don't know. But the bottom line is that the radar is officially turned on today. I'm extremely happy with it. And I have a video for you to watch that goes over it. So I put it to use today. A little bit of a frustrating day because of traffic. And that's why I'm all hot and sweaty, because it's 90 something and it's just real high humidity. But watch the video. This is Rainbow. Enjoy. Well, guess who had the radar turned on today? Yes, I did. So I now have the blind spot monitoring and the adaptive radar for the cruise control. What you'll notice is if we go here, you'll see that there's adaptive cruise control. I have mine set to medium. Basically, you have near, medium, and far. You can play with that, determine how you want to have it. I just chose medium. And when you scroll down, there's also a new setting here. Hopefully this is showing up. That says nope, that's what we just did. Heated seat, phone, settings menu, Ducati Connect. Oh, maybe it's in the settings menu. In the settings menu, riding mode, info display, fuel indicator, here we go. Blind spot detection. Blind spot detection is turned to on. It's on, so we know that we're good to go. Okay, so let's get started and see how this works. Okay, so the very first thing you need when it comes time for the radar, okay, the radar monitoring that uses the light on the mirrors over here, is you need to be somewhere where people could pass you. All right, that's the first thing you're going to need. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to show you that once I get to the highway. The second thing that you need in order to show the adaptive radar cruise control is you have to be following someone so that you can see the differences, especially if that person in front of you changes speeds. Now, I did test this out when I first got it, and I took it on the highway, and I was tickled pink. It actually worked fantastic. So let's go ahead and find ourselves someone to follow, and I will show you how to set this up and get it up and running. Okay, we're coming up here to a light soon, so I'm sure I'll be able to follow behind someone. Thought I'd give you guys a little view of the ocean. And I'll be following on A1A here along the ocean to show you how this thing works. I don't expect to get over 35 or 40 miles an hour, but the cruise control will easily work at that speed. So the first thing I'm going to do in preparation is turn on the cruise control. That's the first thing we're going to do. And the light just turned green. Let's see how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them kind of pull ahead of me, and I'm going to go slow so that I can speed up, because I want this to go faster than what they are going, so you can see how it slows down. All right, so I'm going to get ready to set this. They're already slowing down at 27 miles an hour. Come on, guys. I want to see how this works. There we go. I have it set to 41. All right. Now, I'm set to 42 miles an hour. I have this set to medium. I'm not braking. I'm not touching anything. And I have it on medium. And as you can see, the bike is slowing down. See, I'm not touching anything. All right, I better downshift. So that's one of the things you got to remember, is the bike's not going to downshift for you. This isn't an automatic transmission. So now it starts getting back up. They're going about 35, and this is the medium setting. Okay, they're going a little faster. Still not tapped out at the 41 that I have it set at. 39, 38, but it's maintaining the distance. And as you can see, I am not touching, and neither is my right foot. Okay, I'm not touching brakes. I'm not touching literally anything. Okay, and the adaptive cruise control is working perfectly fine. Now, one of the things that some people have brought up, they're like, oh, you're taking the fun out of riding, you're not going to pay attention, you're going to be more distracted, like that distracts you. And the answer is that's an individual problem. If you have a rider aid that assists you and makes your life easier, I'm all for it. I say use it and enjoy it. If you're going to abuse it, make yourself complacent, well, that's on you. The system is a rider aid. It's to assist you, not to ride the bike for you. All right, now these buttons right here, as I was talking about before, this will increase or decrease your following distance. If I want to increase my following distance, it's going to show up here, all right, and that is going to put more of those little arcs in front showing I have an increased following distance. As you can see, I'm a little farther away from the car in front of me. If I want to tailgate more, which I don't know why you would, maybe you're really slow, I could dial this back, press the minus button, and this will allow me to get, well, honestly, a little too close, okay? But this is how close you can get at the closest. And when I bump it, see it just starts, it's like the brakes. It starts applying brakes and probably engine braking. I'm not even sure how it does it. But this is quite simple. I mean, this is how it works. Okay, let's get on the highway where we can test everything. All right, I gave you a good example at low speed. Let's do something at a little more moderate speed. All right, let's try this. My cruise control is set to 73, but right now I'm doing about 55. Okay, 40, 49, it's just getting worse here. Okay, I have to start downshifting. Now, I'm not braking and I'm not accelerating past my setting of 73. The motorcycle is doing it for me. I just have to shift. I have to both upshift and downshift. As people who are going faster than me come alongside, you'll see that I get this orange light on my mirror. That was that truck coming up behind me. Now, this is not like a car where you're alongside someone and it lets you know that they're there. This is really, to me so far, only working when people come up from behind. When they come up from behind, you will get the light. If they don't come up from behind, you're not going to get the light. Now, in this case, traffic cleared up a little bit and I'm back up to about 73 miles an hour, which is what I'm set for. I'm going to turn the cruise control down to 72 because I know I'm going to catch up to these people soon. All right, I just upshifted to 6th gear so that I am not winding out here. I have traffic merging on. All right, keep your hands on the handlebars, and no one is passing me. And as I go alongside these people, the light is not coming on, and it's not coming on because I'm passing them. This radar is coming from behind for people coming up towards the motorcycle, not as they're alongside me. As you can see, I can see and I know that I'm passing him. All right, so we're keeping this set to 72 and it's working just fine. This should be slow enough. Let me slow it down to 70 to where people, now see, there's a truck coming up alongside me and there's a car on the right. So I had a light on both sides at the same time. So I knew that those cars were coming, and it appears to have given me a decent amount of warning because they were pretty far behind. They were probably a good close to 100 feet behind me. All right, there's a car coming up behind me on the left. So this is a nice little warning. I get this in my peripheral vision. I know that they're coming. I think that that's helpful. Now I'm pulling away from them as I look and I can see where they're at. I'm pulling up significantly in front of them. Now, traffic is starting to thicken up in front of me. All right, the bike recognizes it and the bike really starts to, whoa, the bike really starts and jam on the brakes. Okay, now I had that set to relatively shallow, so I had to take evasive maneuver, and that is something that you have to pay attention to. If I left this thing all the way up, like when people pull in front of you, right now I don't have the I don't have it turned on. Let me try to resume it. If I try to resume it, it wants to back away from these people because now I changed it to where I changed the following distance to the maximum following distance. But as we clearly saw what just happened to me, when you have your following distance set to shallow and you're on a highway where you're set to like 73 and traffic starts backing up but you're pretty far away, it's not going to really stop you in time. It may stop you in time, but I didn't give it that chance. I had to take an evasive maneuver. So let that be a lesson right off the bat that this bike isn't going to do everything for you. All right? Now, under normal circumstances with the normal flow of traffic, I have it set to 70, it's up to 66, but I have it to the maximum following distance, so it's already slowed down to what the person in front of me has slowed down to, which is like 59, 58. But this is a really long following distance. I believe that this is an extremely safe following distance for 60 miles an hour. Okay, if I take this down and I start reducing it, now these are 2 bars. At 2 bars, I'm doing about 66. So that car in front of me is doing about 66. But at 66 miles an hour, this might be a little bit too close. If I take it down to 1 bar, the minimum you can have, the car is still doing 66, 67, but the following distance isn't adequate enough. So I would absolutely not recommend going down to the lowest bar unless you're maybe going 35 miles an hour. You're in somewhere that's like a maybe 35, 40 mile an hour zone. Then maybe it might be okay. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and increase this to 2 bars by using the plus button here, and that gives me a little bit more comfort with my following distance. And if there's an emergency, the bike is definitely going to hit the brakes hard in order to keep you from hitting, but I'm not about to test that out, because the last time I was testing that out back there, as you clearly saw, I decided to take an evasive maneuver rather than lock up the bike completely. Okay, I'm going to get off this exit. I'm going to leave the settings alone. I'm not going to touch them, and we're going to see how this goes. Now there's someone that's passing me 2 lanes over. I'm not getting a light. So this thing seems to be, the radar appears to be very accurate as far as picking up vehicles that are overtaking. Now there's no reason for me to have cruise control, so I just lightly tap the brake. You can reverse the you can go forward with your throttle, you can hit the rear brake, and what'll happen is it'll immediately disengage your cruise control. Let's pick this up. Okay, so there you have it. Dynamic cruise control and the rear-facing radar. Very effective, very nice to have as a rider aid, okay? Not to take the place of your riding abilities, but as a rider aid. It has its limitations. The biggest lesson learned is the following distance. Make sure that your following distance is appropriate for the speed you are traveling at. If you are going to be in heavy traffic, probably not the best choice, okay? With or without the radar. But the rear-facing radar, definitely helpful for cars that are coming up and vehicles that are coming up on you, period. Seems to work and be very effective for things coming up to you. Now, if you're passing someone, it's not going to go off like a car that lets you know you're alongside something. Really no reason for that. I'm going to repeat myself like I did. It's solely going to pick up on vehicles coming towards you from the back, not vehicles that you are going away from or alongside. All right? Anyway, this is Rainbow. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the Ducati radar here in the United States, particularly in Florida. Subscribe. I hope that you got something from this video. If you did, ring the bell so you get notified whenever there's another video that comes out. Please like. Please subscribe. It would be helpful so I can bring more and better content to you each time. Anyway, this is Rainbow. Have yourself
A beautiful day.